My name is Will Crowley. I'm the 2018 president of NEBA. Thank you all for coming. Got a pretty good crowd today, and I'm sure you're all here to see me and Ted. But either way, we did also have the newly elected Mayor Dailey here. So hopefully he doesn't disappoint. So.
My pleasure today to introduce our Mayor John Dailey. I think we've all known him. John has been on the county commission for 12 years. He's born and raised here in Tallahassee. He's got a great wife. His mom is a sweetheart. If you have never met her, you need to do that. And without her, he probably wouldn't have won this race. There's no question about that, in my mind.
Thanks, Ted.
my pleasure, Mayor. My pleasure. It was a tough race, no question about it. We're happy that NEBA supported John in his race for mayor. He won that straw vote here at our event when we did that poll. So I think you all know him. I don't need to say anything more about John. I think you all know him, and it's really is my pleasure to introduce Mayor John Dailey.
First of all, let me take a second and recognize my colleague, Commissioner Curtis Richardson, who joined us as well. Curtis, I haven't had a chance to tell you.
He snuck in again on it. I don't know if y'all remember, this is about the 4th month in a row.
Curtis, your office has been great. AK's been great really helping us get settled in, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. And I know he's been helping out Diane and Jeremy as well. And we appreciate it, really do. It's good to see you. Okay, so this is my first speaking event as your mayor. Commissioner Proctor. Commissioner Proctor. Oh, hey, Michelle, how are you? This is my first speaking event. So Ted called and said, we want you to come to NEBA. And I said, Ted, I haven't even spent a day in the office yet. They're like, that's okay. Come on. This was, what, a week and a half ago before I got sworn in. I said, I don't know exactly what I'll have to say after 1 week on the job. So I guess if there was a title to this, it's really just merely observations after 1 week. And just what's going on and where we're moving and what we're doing. But before we do that, I do have a special presentation to Ted Thomas. So where's Max Hurley? My friend Max Hurley. Max is in the back. After we won this election, and it was a tough election cycle, not only in the mayor's race, but in all of the seats from the federal level all the way down. As a joke, Max made a mug. And so I have that mug here. This is the only one that exists, although I have ordered another 10 because I absolutely love them. And I'm going to present this to Ted Thomas for inviting me to be the speaker the first time as elected mayor. And this mug says, I survived the 2018 Tallahassee mayor's race. And on the back, it lists everybody at one point or another that was considering running for mayor. And I'm at the top in blue. Ted Thomas, come on up here. This is Max, and there is only one. This is it until Max decides to sell more. But I want to present you with the I Survived the 2018 Tallahassee Mayor's Race. And again, you can see everybody from, you got Dustin, Bill, Michelle, Gil, Eric, Carrie, Norris, Bob, Joe, and me. Here you go, sir. Thanks for inviting me.
And my name ain't on there, darn it. Thank you. That's great.
Absolutely. Over the Thanksgiving holidays, I've been doing a lot of thinking, preparing to come into office. And I am very thankful for the opportunity to serve as your mayor. Thank you for giving me this awesome responsibility. I'm going to make you proud, and I'm going to do the best job that I possibly can. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not always going to get it right. We're all human. But even when we get it wrong, we're going to work hard to fix whatever we can to move forward. I think I have a reputation like that as a county commissioner now coming over. But we're going to work hard for you, and I'm really excited. Tallahassee is a wonderful place. We have so many tremendous people that live here, so many great qualities about our community. The assets that we have in this community, we're ready to take off from a business perspective and build upon the success that we have. And I'm very excited. Since the election till now, one of the things that I've really tried to do is dig into the history of Tallahassee, especially the history of the mayor's office. I'm a true believer you can learn a lot about history and learn what to do, what not to do, just by studying who we are and where we came from. I've come across several fascinating things that I'd love to share with you. We were founded obviously in 1824, but it was a territorial municipality, believe it or not. Our first mayor came in 1826, Dr. Charles Hare. He was the first mayor of the city of Tallahassee. And during that first time, we had a 5-member city commission with the mayor. But what I did not realize, did you know that for the first 93 years of our city, we had a strong mayor form of government? It was a strong mayor form of government. And it wasn't until 1990 when it was Guy McCord Sr. actually was the mayor of Tallahassee, where he had the charter changed, and we changed in 1919 from a strong mayor form of government to a council management form of government. The city of Tallahassee has had a city commission as small as 3 individuals. We have had a city commission as large as 9 commissioners serve. My point is this, is that we have had just about every form of government since our creation, and we've had different sizes of government too, which is absolutely fantastic. On a side note, one of my favorite stories was 1895. We had 4 mayors in 1895. Does anybody know this story? It's a great story. So it started off, Judge Jesse Bernard was the mayor. This is back when you had municipal judges that would actually serve also as elected officials. And he got in a tussle as a strong mayor with the city commission and just up and quit and said, the heck with it, I'm done. Just got up and walked out. And so the commission then promoted one of their own, Foster Gilmore, who became the strong mayor of the city of Tallahassee. So Foster Gilmore then wanted to appoint his own police chief. And the current police chief that was serving wouldn't resign. So as you can imagine, it got to be this political tussle. Well, while this was going on, everybody was digging into everybody else's background, and it turns out that Foster Gilmore was Canadian. He wasn't even an American citizen. So they kicked him out. So when they got rid of Foster Gilmore, they brought in Robert Gamble, and the same thing happened. He wanted to appoint his own police chief. The police chief wouldn't stand down. Then the city commission came back and said, you know what? You can serve, but we're going to hold a special election, and you're going to have to serve in that special election. And he too said, the heck with it, I'm out of here. Commission went forward with the special election, and believe it or not, Judge Jesse Bernard, that was hat in the ring, won and was the mayor again. In 1895, the city of Tallahassee had 4 different mayors. Fascinating story. And the reason why I tell you this is that we watch politics today, and we see all the stuff that goes on during campaigns. And truth be told, political change comes and goes. We have had elected officials come and go. We will have elected officials come and go. And political change is actually easy, if you think about it. I mean, that's the bedrock of democracy. We elect new people to come in and serve. We elect different people to come in and serve. We form relationships. Curtis and I have a great working relationship. Actually, I think all of the city commissioners right now have a great working relationship. There will be votes we will be on the same side. There will be votes that will be on different side, and that's okay. What I have learned, though, through my time of service and study, is that while political change is easy, institutional change is the real hurdle. And we have to stop sometimes and ask, and I think it's good to have fresh faces. When Curtis first got elected, you come in and you ask your questions. Why do we do it this way? Is this the right way? Is there a different way? Could we be doing things better? Can we be doing things different? And sometimes we get so ingrained as an institution that sometimes the hair on the back of our neck stands up and says, we can't change that because this is how we've always done it. We can't do that. That won't work without giving it full consideration. Political change is easy. Institutional change can be difficult. You have to ask questions, random thoughts. Why is security such at City Hall that I have to go through literally 2 badge doors just to go to the bathroom? Why did we get to this point in society that in order for somebody to meet the mayor, you have to go down and meet them at the front desk? Funny side note, by the way, Thomas Whitley, who I'll formally introduce in a second, we went out to lunch yesterday, we came back, and we just walked in the front door, and we're just walking straight through, and I thought security was going to tackle me, Curtis, because they didn't recognize me, and they sent me through the metal detector. I got wanded, I got strip searched the whole 9 yards all the way down. And then finally, one of the guys was like, wait, didn't you just get, yeah, I just got elected, it's nice to meet you, I'm John. And they're like, hey, there's a side door over there so that you don't have to come through. So anyway, but you know, why do we do things the way how we do things? And I think it's important that we ask these questions. I met with Reese, the city manager, for the first time for an hour and a half yesterday, like our first scheduled meeting. And I told him, I said, part of my job as mayor is to push the question. Why do we do this? How come we do this? How come we don't do this? Why should we continue doing this? And I told him, I said, we're going to have a great working relationship. And I think you can expect it from the entire city commission, but our job is to constantly ask, constantly get better, constantly push the question so that we can provide the best services to the city of Tallahassee and to the residents of our community as well. I also believe that my role, and here's what I want to do. Just give you a couple thoughts, and then let's open it up and have a conversation, okay? I really want to use this time to hear from you, get your thoughts. I got 2 questions proposed to you. What are your expectations as me as your mayor? And what are your expectations of your city commission and city in general? But I also believe that one of my roles is to serve as a change agent. And one of the things, and I know Curtis believes in this as well because he's led by example too, is that we have to reset the tone, reset the environment, and create a working environment that works for all of us. I'm taking this opportunity, I want you to know as your mayor, that I am bending over backwards right now as the election is over to change the dynamics of the relationship between the state of Florida, the legislature, and the city of Tallahassee. I tell people all the time, especially in the legislature, I'm your mayor too. Because while you serve a community back home as a state representative or as a state senator, you are also a Floridian, and this is your capital city, and I am the mayor of your capital city. And it is our responsibility as people come and spend half the year in Tallahassee working, that as the mayor and as the city, we bend over backwards to make sure that our services are on tap, that we help people with their transition, that we have this positive working relationship with the state. The state needs the city needs the state. I am personally reaching out to the governor-elect all the way down to introduce myself, literally cold call. I'm John Dailey. I'm the new mayor of Tallahassee. I'm ready to work with you. We're taking extraordinary steps with inauguration right around the corner. Think about it logistically. Our first commission meeting will be December 5th. It is the last meeting till the end of the year, technically the last meeting until inauguration takes place. I told the city manager yesterday that it is my goal during the city commission meeting to make sure that whatever policy needs to be put in place to give him the flexibility financially to work with the inauguration committee and with transition, that's a smooth transition. Do we have enough money to cover extra overtime for police forces and whatever, permitting, whatever we need to do, we need to make sure that we are in a position to work with the state hand and foot, that it's a smooth transition and a huge celebration with the new administration that's coming in and with the legislature. And I'm true to that. We need to change the dynamics in the relationship between the city and the county and the school board. And I'm proud to say that in the next couple of weeks, we are going to have the first in over 2 decades mayor of Tallahassee and city manager, chairman of the county commission and county administrator, and chairwoman of the school board and superintendent meeting. And it's going to be a regular meeting. You're going to see this time and time again. The 3 local governments working hand in hand together, because it's important. At the end of the day, there's only 3 governments here in this community. We're not a Palm Beach, we're not a Pinellas County that has 26 or 37 municipalities. There's 1 municipality, 1 county, and 1 school district. And as it was so aptly pointed out, and I give Michelle credit, I give Michelle credit on the campaign trail. You know, a lot of the issues that we face are not just city issues, and they're not just county issues, and they're not just school board issues. They're community issues. And so in the 21st century, we've got to break this mold of silos. Well, I just work in my lane and you work in your lane. And we really have got to work together in order to tackle these issues that are facing this community. And I truly believe in that. Changing the relationship on the state level, changing the relationships on the local level. I want to be that change agent as your mayor. I also want to lead by example. On the campaign trail, we had a lot of discussion about budgets. We had a lot of discussion about staffing. And I do think that we've caught some attention, first and foremost. My first day on the job was, we were sworn in on Monday. My first day was on Tuesday. We have taken the staff of the mayor's office from 10 down to 2. Let me take this opportunity to introduce Dr. Thomas Whitley. Dr. Whitley, if you'll please stand up. I asked him to come to this one meeting so you can meet him. Dr. Whitley is my aide, chief of staff, however you want to address him. He's the one that's going to be running the show. Dr. Whitley has a PhD, and we're bringing some firepower when it comes to research and analysis, and I think that's something that is going to be very useful in the mayor's office. We have Kathy Branch, who has served the city of Tallahassee for 20 years, that's handling all of our internal affairs, because if you remember, 90% of what we do is constituent services. And I thought it was very important to have somebody on staff that actually understands the government from day one, understands the departments, and can help facilitate. So we're running a very lean, mean mayor's office. We are discussing whether or not we're going to bring on one more position, probably be filled at the beginning of the year, to help out with external affairs. But I cannot possibly see us going further than 3 on staff, and we're running with 2 right now. On day 1, we went ahead and formally notified the city manager's office that we are going to be moving the management of all lobbying contracts out of the mayor's office back under the city manager's office. That is a $108,000 budget alignment that happened before lunch on the first day of office. We're catching some attention down there. I think, Curtis, you're going to figure out, along with the other commissioners, and I'm going to bring this up for formal discussion at the meeting, is that in order to make sure that all commissioners, including the mayor, have the same amount of information in real time, it's more appropriate to have all of the city commission lobbying contracts managed by the manager's office and not the mayor's office. I think that collectively as a body, we're going to be able to work much better representing the interests of the city of Tallahassee as we move forward. So that is one of the items that we're going to be coming back. So if you can imagine, on the first day before lunch, we took our staff from 10 down to 2 and basically realigned $180,000 out of the mayor's office back into general revenue fund. And we caught some attention, and I'm proud of that. But it's good moves, it's right moves, it's a new day. I think it's going to work more efficient, and I think that you're going to see a better product at the end of the day because of it. When it comes to some of the other major initiatives, where do we go from here? I don't think it's a big secret. We've been campaigning on a lot of these issues. We do have a meeting coming up on December 5th. And one of the things that I'm going to address at the meeting, and at the end of the meeting, we have an opportunity to go around the table and kind of share some of our thoughts or bring ideas to the table for consideration. We will formally be addressing the lobby contracts and making sure that the proper move to the administration is done. That's a policy change that needs to take place. I'm interested in addressing, obviously, the public speaking policy change. For the meeting itself, for anybody that wants to come, if we go over the 30 minutes, I will obviously waive it as mayor because I have the authority to do so. But I think it's time to go ahead and sunset that policy. If you take the time to come downtown, park your car, come through security, sit through the beginning of the meeting to address the city commission, I'm going to make sure you have the opportunity to speak. And I think that this commission is going to embrace that and be able to move forward. Obviously, we're going to demand civility. We're going to demand respect. You will have the utmost respect from the mayor's office as well as you speak. But I think it's important that we open up the doors and we allow everybody to participate in their government. Moving forward, focusing on, we have a huge annual retreat coming up in December. Some of the things that I'm interested in getting my colleagues' input on is, number one, a strategic plan. I think it's time for us to come together as a community, put together our 5-year strategic plans. Now, we've got a lot of great plans out there, but we need to bring them all under one umbrella. We need to be laser focused on who we want to be and where we want to go based on the success that we have today. Number two, public safety. Public safety is first and foremost. I know that Chief D'Elia will be at the commission meeting on Wednesday to give a full public safety briefing, and we all look forward to spending time with him to learn more about our community policing efforts. What are we doing to combat violent crime? What are the needs that we need to fulfill within the police department? How are the working relationships with the other agencies here in our community? And what can we do to make those relationships better to be able to move forward? Ethics reform. This is something that I campaigned on, and 2 of my other colleagues that were in the races campaigned on as well. I have my specific ideas on ethics reform that I would love to see brought back. I know my colleagues have their ideas as well. I think that you can fully expect some type of ethics reform package to be put together, to be brought back to the City Commission when we reconvene in January after the holidays. And that is something that I'm really interested in seeing brought forth before the City Commission as well. And finally, economic development. I'm really excited about our potential and our opportunity. And as I campaigned, I'll reiterate today, I want to be that mayor that works in that positive coalition with the City Commission, where we really, truly, aggressively try to recruit new businesses to our community, help expand our economic opportunity, create new jobs. At the other end of the spectrum, We've got this unique opportunity as a community. We passed the Sales Tax 2020 extension. We are guaranteeing over $850 million of road construction jobs in our community over the next 20 years. But yet, the road construction industry tells us there is a dire need for trained workforce, people that can operate backhoes, excavators, bulldozers. I want to be the leader. I want the city of Tallahassee to set the model in conjunction and partnership with the county, with the school board, in order to be able to train our men and women in this community, create these jobs, put local businesses back to work in a specific targeted industry, road construction, where we're guaranteeing 20 years of $850 million worth of work. We've got a lot of great opportunity to move forward. So economic development is also going to be a huge interest in being able to put the pieces together. So between a strategic plan, laser focused, between public safety, ethics reform, economic development, that's a good way to start right there. Before I open it up for questions, let me also go ahead and recognize my good friend Nick Maddox, who just rolled off as the chairman of the Leon County Commission. Thanks for joining us. So really, after 1 week on the job, that's my initial comments. What I'd like to do is just spend the rest of the time, let's open it up and let's have a conversation. Any questions?
Commissioner Proctor.
Commissioner Proctor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Commissioner Maddox and I, we have been with the mayor a long time. We know how incredibly gifted he is, and he's a really smart and sharp guy. Mr. Mayor, I wanted to just ask you, we've shared information, and you understand that the Harvard report in 2015 told us that we were America's most segregated community economically. Subsequent to this report, we have received additional data that identifies zip code 32304 as Florida's most problematic in terms of literacy, reading at the 3rd grade level. Zip code 32304 being Florida's most condensed and impoverished area. It's across the street from Florida State. It's surrounded by a lot of resources. My ask to you is your consideration of a mayoral summit on 32304 and how we might utilize the resources of our community targeted to Florida's 32304, that in the presence of our legislature and these people you're going to be meeting with, that we can lift this area, which is a part of my district, to higher heights. And this is a focus not on the commerce per se or varying utility lines. My focus here in this question is a human one, the human condition. Would you be willing to put your credit card on the line and to look at 32304? Thank you.
Well, I think we need to, it's a great question, Bill, Commissioner, and you're right. I think one of the things that we have to do as a community is truly open our eyes and realize that there are segments of this community that truly need our help, our collective help. And we need to sit down collectively to solve these problems. I'll be honest with you, I am hesitant about announcing a mayor's summit because the tone that I want to set is a commission summit. We're in this together. It is not just the mayor. It's going to be the commission working together. And I think that it is a big enough issue that it shouldn't just be a city commission summit. It needs to be a county commission, city commission, school board. And I'll tell you a great place to start. How many of y'all were at the chamber breakfast not too long ago when Mark Wilson did his presentation from the Florida Chamber talking about the 3rd grade reading initiative? I mean, absolutely. I think that we need to come together as a community, tackle this 3rd grade reading initiative first and foremost, and make some serious impact. Look, I got a 4th grader. So last year we did the 3rd grade. We did the first year of testing. And I talked to Jenny about this quite a bit. You know, we'd wake up every morning. It was a big deal in our family. I would cook a breakfast. We'd sit down. It was a celebration, pumping our son up, ready to go to school, take his test. He had a full belly, had a good night's sleep. He walked in and he gave it his best shot. Not every kid in this community had that same opportunity. Not every kid in this community had that same example. So should a student that just because of the fact that they're from a different part of town start off on the wrong foot in 3rd grade? No, I think we should come together. We should truly work on this 3rd grade initiative. I think the Florida Chamber's got a great foundation to start with. We could tweak it specifically to our community. But yeah, 32304, that is the zip code, folks. If you look at the studies that are being produced about our community, Bill is absolutely correct. And we have got to come together, and we truly got to hone in. Because look, if we can improve 32304, the entire community is going to benefit, okay? If we can improve 32304, think about what we can do to those current third graders down there and how they can directly impact our community as they grow up as well. But I'm not going to be the mayor that's going to sit back and, number one, exclude the city commission and just do a mayor's initiative. And I'm not going to be the mayor that's going to just turn my back on a particular zip code. I do think that we need to dive head first. We have to acknowledge that we have problems in this community and hurdles, and we need to attack them.
Well, on behalf of NEBA and our membership, we thank you. Please give John one heck of an applause.